Welcome back. Now, this is a summary of the previous lesson, along with some tips and things to think about when writing an argumentative essay. Make sure you check out part 1 first if you haven't. You can find all of these tips and tricks in your textbook, Pick and Mix 1, on page 81. Tips how to write an argumentative text. First of all, remember why you're writing an argumentative text. The purpose of it is to persuade an audience or reader that a certain point of view is correct. And the text should have a clear structure, including the following: introduction, a short presentation of the topic. Why is it important? What's the general view? And here you can also, I would say you should state what your viewpoint is. Main body. Here is where you give reasoning to support your argument, and you should also write the main opposing arguments, what the other side says, and explain why you think they're wrong. And this is the longest part. It should be split up into several paragraphs, and each paragraph should be about only one topic. And then you finish off with conclusion, summary and conclusion. You restate your opinion in a short but strong way. You should also summarize what you've already said. Like I said in the previous video, should be introduction, you tell them what you're going to tell them. The main body, you tell them. And conclusion, you tell them what you just told them. Things to remember: be sure to research your topic before starting to write about it. This is something that a lot of people forget. You don't just start writing right away. And when you write something like this, first of all, you have to do some research so you know what you can say. And don't use emotional language. It's okay to put in a bit of personal experience here and there, but try to argue in a reasoned way. Use reasonable, logical arguments. And be prepared to defend what you've written. This is easiest if you know and you can answer the strongest argument against your own point of view. So like we said, include a paragraph with the counter arguments, the arguments against your viewpoint, where you respond to them. Here are some useful phrases. And again, all of these are in your textbook, so you don't have to memorize all of them. But to list your arguments, you can use phrases such as firstly, secondly, thirdly, to start with, to begin with, first of all, in addition, moreover, furthermore. To present arguments for and against, you can start sentences with, for example, one major advantage, one argument for, one of the main points, one disadvantage, one major drawback, another argument against. To present examples, causes, and results. For example, for instance, because, since, as a result, which leads to. And to make contrasting points, on the other hand, however, even though, although, despite, nevertheless. And to conclude, to sum up, to conclude, to finish off, in conclusion, all things considered. So these are examples of phrases and words that you can start a sentence with that will communicate to the reader what comes now. If a sentence starts with however, now you know that now there's a contrasting point coming. Now there's the other side of the argument coming here. If something starts with one argument for, well, now here comes one argument arguing for what you just said, whatever that was. And if you start with as a result, well, that builds on something that you just said. You said something, and then as a result of this, well, that leads to so and so. And if you start with to conclude, or in conclusion, to finish off, now we know that okay, this is the end of the paper. Now we're rounding it off. So keep an eye on this list while you're reading if you need inspiration for how to communicate to your reader what comes now. Think about what it is that's going to come now. So that's some useful tips. Good luck to you, and I'm looking forward to reading your paper.